captured in this log. This is a version history of the object process. If you must have heard some point of time like what is version. So version is nothing but the changes that you keep making to a particular object or thing, which keep a record like what all changes that you made at what time and who made that particular changes. So all thing will be tracked here, right? So this is the one thing. So once you have one process created, what you can do, so once you double click this particular session one process, double click it. As soon as double click it, you see a MS Visio type of Word document type, which something looks similar to it will get open. So as soon as it get open and double click it and maximize it. So this is what a process studio look like, guys. So as soon as you open the process studio, what you can see actually. So first thing that you will see, there is a main page here. So main page will contain two important points. One is the the information of the particular process. So if you see here, it shows that created by admin and what is the time this process got created, and last change by whom. So last change by admin at this particular point of time, and this gives the description of this process. If you double click it, so it show all the information here, right? So this is the this is the process information panel you have, and this is the start page that you have. So whenever you are going to open any process, by default you are going to have these three tabs, which is a particular information tab, one is start and one is in tab. So these will defaultly will come in any application. Now what you can do, if you see like I select, so how you can select this particular tiles. So if I just left click on my mouse, like how you used to do on a Word document, right? And you just make this kind of a border and select it now and try to delete it, and let's see which all things get deleted. Okay, so here you see, so in a process you cannot delete the information panel and start panel. So as soon as you create this process, these two panels will always be there. You cannot delete this. See, if I right click it, I won't get the option to delete it. Same with this. If I right click it, I won't get this action to delete. So why? Because these are basic entity of any process, and a process cannot be imagined without these two blocks. So these are mandatory, and there is a specific use of this information tab. I will tell you later, when we'll reach to that point. But for now, you can just understand this as these are two mandatory things which will be present under the main page. As soon as you open the application, open the process studio, you will see these two tabs here. Now, apart from this, what I want to tell you, like if you see here on the left hand side, there are various stages. So right from the pointer to the resume, we have different stages blocks. These blocks will help us in order to build up the particular process that we are going to build in a process studio. How? We will look step by step, like what all stages that help us in which manner, and what is their property, what things that they can do it, so that we can efficiently use in our process. Now apart from this, what we have to see, what is the option that we have here on the toolbar. So if you see, the first panel is something from where we run our process. So when this green arrow that you see here is from where you will be running your process. So once your process is ready, you will be clicking this go button to run your process. There is an option here, this called reset. So reset is nothing but you can basically, like, once your process is ready and you want to run it, so the first step that you have to do, you have to reset your process and run it. So anytime you start running your process, you always have to reset, because reset will set all the values that you have in your processes. Let's say any variables that is associated in your process, which holding any values that got changed during the processing will get reset to their initial values. So once you start running your process, you have to have reset this particular process. After that, there is a tab called validation. So this tab is nothing but it will always show you, like, let's say if I created any process here, right? So for for this particular process, whatever error that I get, that error will always get captured in validation. Let's say if I miss something, right, by mistake, if I have not given some arrow or not linked to particular blocks, so it will always give me this error here. If I click here, you can see that it says that missing link, like there is no link to which it can be associated. Now let me bring the end stage here, and what I can do, so if you see this link, so link stage, what link stage used to do it? So link stage is nothing but it will link two stages from each other. So if you want to remove, get rid of this, any of these stages, you click on pointer. So you don't, so like it deselected whatever you have selected, from this particular stages, right from link to resume. Now again, if you click on link, you see the link stage got selected, and now I can click in the middle of this stage, left click it, and then I keep drawing the arrow toward end stage toward the middle. So as soon as I draw it, those two stages got linked. And now if you see, if I go and reset it, the error has gone. There is no error. So that is what the validation stage is, and that is how you use the reset stage. So when I link these two stages, there was still some error because I didn't reset it. So once I reset it, the process came to know, like, this is a fine process and we can run it. Now if I run it, let's say if you go and run it, so if I go and run it, you see it comes to the end. So this yellow mark is nothing but it will display like from where it is started and where it is ending. So right now my process is in end stage. As soon as I reset it, if you see, again this process got reset, and now again I can able to run it. Now even for running your process, if you see, you have different option. So this option has been given to for you for for debugging purpose, but I will show you what debug is, but that will come at a later point of time. But you can, for now, you can just see that you can make your process run fast, you can make your process run normal speed, and you can make your process run at slow speed. All right. So let's say if I run my process at very fast speed, so how this will, so you can see it just got executed very fast. So this is how it's how this basic things about the process and what all link that you have. So, and the main thing that you have to remember that the start and this stage cannot be deleted, and you can always delete the end stage, so that should be fine. So after this, so do you have any doubt till now? Like if you have any doubt in between, if you want to raise any question, you are free to raise. You can keep yourself in mute, and whenever you have any doubt, you can just raise the question. So I hope all good till now. If you have any question that you want to ask, you can always ask me. Okay.
Karan?
Hey, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, small clarification here. So debug speed, we have three parameters, right? Fast, normal, and slow.
Right.
Okay, so any difference between these three? Any time duration difference or?
Yes. Yes. So
If I am
see,
putting fast.
yeah. The difference, the basic difference is, what happened. So what happened, like when you have very big process, right? you are just seeing the very small. So I mean, there will be big process where you have different pages, right, each running into one another. So what happened, sometimes it is get very difficult to understand where the error is coming, right? So what you want to do, you want to basically debug your process, like where the this particular the issue is there. So in those scenario, instead of running your process fast, you want to run it at slow speed or normal speed. So the difference is when you click on the normal, right? When you keep the process as normal speed, it will run at a very normal speed. That is how it has to run. If you keep slow, it will run very slow. And if you keep fast, it will run very fast speed. Now the time difference will come. So what happened, like, whenever you are going to run your process in production, so the process by default in production will run at fast speed. It is only this option has given to you in the designer part of the process studio, so that you can make your process, you can you can debug your process efficiently. You just see by running at normal speed if there is no issue in your process. Later time, you will be coming in exception handling, where you will see, like, if you make a particular process and if you run at fast speed, sometime, let's say, you want to open some particular web page. You are doing a UI automation and you want to open a particular web page and want to grab some text data value. But if you run at normal speed, it's running fine. But when you run at fast speed, you see it getting failed. So there, how you will handle all those exceptions, how you will make that is efficient, those at those point of time, this debug speed is very important. Okay, makes sense.
Yes, Karan, you can go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. So this was all, like, the basic about the process. Now we will see the stages that we have, what all options that we have here. So one of the option that we have is a decision stage. And guys, see, like, you can just left click it and bring it anything here. It's like the way that you select these stages here is just left click it and just bring it here, and just double click it, so it will open it. And you can just right click it, delete it. So this is how these things work, that you can select on your process studio screen. uh, and also, if you click, if you click this particular page, or sorry, if you click any of this stage, let's say calculation stage, and what you can do, you can click it multiple time, it will keep on adding it. So let's say calc 1, calc 2, calc 3, calc 4. Let's say if you have a requirement to add 4 calculus stage, so this is how you will be doing it. And you can also drag and drop, so it will select one, so like this. And if you want to delete it, you can select everything and then at one go you can delete it. So this is all about basic things. Now I will discuss about the decision state here. What is the role of the decision state and how this works? Okay, so first bring this decision state here. uh, so the decision state is nothing but it used to make your process run into two parallel paths. So a decision stage is similar to a boolean. A boolean is nothing but you will have either a true value or a false value, right? So you must have always seen, like, if you click this particular decision state, you have an option of expression here. So you can write any expression here. I will show you what the expression means and how you can write it. And based on this expression, whatever this evaluates, you know, if this value is true, it will take the true path. If this value is false, it will take the false path. In programming language, you can replicate it to if then else, like how the if then else part behaves. The decision state is all same to it. So we can just take a very basic example and see how this works. So let's say I take a decision like uh, one is less than, or two is less than one, which we know is false, right? So this is just I wrote an expression. So you can write any expression, and then what you can do, there is a tab called validate. So whenever I write any expression in the decision tab, the basic responsibility is to validate the expression if this expression is correct or not. So you will first validate it. As soon as I click on validate, it says that expression is valid. Okay. Now, after this validation tab, you can also evaluate this expression. Like, what is this actually expression is returning to you? So once you click on the evaluate expression, it says that the result is false. So Boolean is nothing but flag, right? It can give you a true value or it can give you a false value. Same as decision. So whenever you click on evaluate, it will give you either a false result or true result. We all know that 2 is less than 1 is not true. So that's why it's giving a false. Okay. Now, uh, yeah. So just make a decision stage, and whatever name that you want to give, you can give it here based on your comfortability, and you can write what a description that a stage is doing, so that whenever someone other is reading the process that you have worked on, he will have fair idea of what this particular stage is doing in the process. So this is what it is. And once you click on OK, my decision stage is ready. Now what I have to do, I just have to link my all stages here. So I go and click it. So as soon as you click, you will see, as soon as I click the decision stage to the end stage, it gives me the value yes. So the first stage, you will connect your decision stage. It will always give you a default value yes. Now let me bring one more end state, because I already told you, like, in a process you can always have a one start stage, but you can have mini end stage as much as you want. So I can have one more end stage here, and once I join these two stages with each other, you see it got selected with the value no. So this was like, once the first block that you connect will always give a default value yes, and the second will give you default value no. Now I have just created my process, and what I will do, as I told you, I will reset it, right? So there is no error. Now what I can go, instead of running in fast, I will run in normal mode, so you can see what's happening here. We know all that this is a false, so it should go in this direction, right? So that's what we will going to see. So you see the process has moved toward this direction instead of moving toward this direction. Again, we will reset it. Now we have one more option here. If you click on this particular line, this line or this line, like the stage connecting decision stage with the end stage, if you right click it, there is an option called switch. What switch will do, it will switch the value from yes to no. So it can switch from each other. The value, like, it will become no and this will become yes if I click here. So you see this became no and this became yes. So now again, if I want to run my process, I reset it and I run it. So you see this process moving in this direction. So the decision stage in a process is nothing but it will make your process to move toward a certain direction based on the expression that you are going to write in your expression stage, which is nothing but here. And accordingly, whatever outcome that this expression stage is throwing out, right? It can be either a true or it can be false. Based on that, it is going to take the whatever decision that you want to, going to take it. Okay. So let's say, the first example that I gave, you are basically trying to retrieve the PDFs of that was attached in the email, right? And you have been told that you are only going to read the first 50 emails that is coming to you. Now, in the decision stage, for example, you can make a decision that have you reached the 50, like, have you read the 50 emails line by line? So if the decision state say yes, what you are going to do, you are going to end the process, because the requirement was to read only the first 50 emails that came to you. And if the email is not still 50, then you will keep processing the other emails, right? So I'm just giving you example that why the decision state will be very useful in any process, because based on that you can take one direction or other direction, up to you. So this was just all about the decision state, and we will see like what all way that we can use in other process. Uh, After this decision state, we will be using calculation stage. So what is this calculation stage is all about? So if you open this calculation stage, you will see that you also have the option of expression here. So calculation state is nothing but it is going to calculate, it is going to evaluate the value of the expression. Whatever you are going to write in your expression, it is going to evaluate it, and it's going to store in some variable. So here the concept of variable will come. So I will explain about that. So, but the main purpose of calculation stage is to store the value of any expression. So difference between, if you see the calculation state and the decision state, they both have expression, but only difference is whatever the evaluation that you are doing, you cannot store it anywhere. But here in that calculation state, whatever expression that you are evaluating, the result of that expression, you can store it in a variable. And basically it is basically used for calculation purpose. Like for process, I was saying you, right? I gave you the example of you wanted to read only 50 emails. So you wanted to come one by one, right? You want to iterate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How you are going to do that? You will require a calculation stage definitely in that process, because it is going to calculate one by one the email that you have processed, so that the final outcomes will be there in your store result in variable. And let's say if you give any name of this variable, if this value of this particular variable reach the 50, in decision state you are going to compare, if this value is 50, you're going to end the process. So that is how this calculation state is used. We will take a very basic example, like how we can going to use it. So before that, you have to understand there is one more stage called data item stage, right? What data item state used to do. So if I bring the data item stage here, data item stage is nothing but a variable just in real line. It is going to hold a value of any, it going to hold any value that you want to use in your process. So if you click here, this is the name of the data value that you can give, and this is the data type that you wanted to use. So there are various different data type, like date, date time, flag, number, password, text, time span. So all these are the type of data that you are going to store in this particular variable data one. So let's say if you have a numeric value, so which type of data type you will be using? Number. If you have a text value, so you'll be using text. If you have a password kind of value that you want to store, so for that you'll be using password. If you have a boolean true or false, so you'll be using flag. If you have a date value, you'll be using a date type variable to store the value. So generally these are the data type always get used in the process. Now this is nothing but the initial value. So see, let's say for example, I selected my data type as number. So as soon as I select number, you see this initial value get initialized, and there is a current value. I will let you know what is the difference between initial and current value. So initial value is, let's say you want any number, any value, this particular data type to store. So I can give, let's say 0. So this data type 1 will always store this number value 0 whenever this process will start. Now let's come to calculation stage. So in the calculation stage, I told you what we can do. we can write any expression here, and we can store the result in the particular variable that I have created. So let's say I give the name of this variable result. Okay, so and in calculation stage, you just see that, just write 7 plus 2. And what I told you, like you can write any expression here, and the first thing that you are going to do, you're going to validate it. So I'll click validate. Now it gave me some error. The error is stage to store result does not exist. What is this? There is no, like I have not given, which the value that is returning, where it is getting stored. So first I have to select that. So there is a result. If you see the particular the data that I've created will be visible in this particular data item menu. So this is the main page. In this main page, what all type of variable that I have and what variable I have created. So I have created a result variable here, which is having a data type value, like type as a number, and initial value is 0. Okay, so if I go and click here on my calculation stage, you see this particular result will appear under the number type data, right? So you can understand that this is the one that you created. Now if you want to just store the value of this 7 plus 2 in the result, what you can do, you can left click it and drag and drop from here to store result in. As soon as you do it, your this particular property of your calculation stage is completed. Now once you click on validate stage, it says that expression is valid. Now once you go and evaluate expression, it says that expression result is 9, which is true. 7 plus 2 is 9. So you understand that this is giving you correct result. Okay, now you click OK. Now what we can do, like let us just modify our process a little bit, and then we will see, like what how we can use it. So let me first delete this particular links. Okay, and let me link each other with. Now my process is going to start. This is a calculation stage. So I just added 2 numbers. So whatever you're doing, just give the name there. And in the decision stage, what I'm going to do, so you see that the value of 7 plus 2 is going to store in result. Okay, so the result is going to hold the value that you are evaluating here in the expression tab. Now in decision stage, I'm going to check if the result value is less than 9 or not. So 7 plus 2 is 9, so the value is 9, so it is obviously not less than 9. So what I can do, let's say I just drag and drop here. So in expression, just remember one thing. In expression tab, whenever you use any variable or whenever you use any data stage type, it will always come in a square bracket. So since I use result, which was I have created as a data type, it and I drag and drop here, it will come as a like in a double quoted bracket. So what I want to check, if it is less than 9, which we know that it is not. So let's say you validate it here, the expression is valid, and you can evaluate it. So let's say you give the value of the result is 9. So this is how evaluation work, and you click on test, which is false because the value 9 that I gave is not less than 9. So this give me false. If I give 8 and give test, it give me true. So which, yeah, 8 is less than 2. That's why it giving me true value. So this is how this, you have created a decision. This is going to return you a, a boolean flag which is false. Now what you are going to do, just let me know, like, this process, since this is going to return me no, this is going to take me from decision state to this side, toward no side, right? So you see, since I have just joined all my stages here, I reset it and I don't have any error. It means there is no configuration error in my process and I'm good to run my process. Now initial value that I gave for my result variable is 0, and it is showing you here the value 0. Now once I start running the process, you will see that value result will change from 0 to 9 after it passes this particular stage. So let me run it and then show you. So see, that's what I told you, the concept of initial value and current value. I gave the initial value as 0, and after going through the calculation stage, it evaluated the value and stored the value 9 as a current value, because this is a current value this particular data type item is holding, and that is what it's showing here. Now it gone to the decision stage. There it evaluated, like, if the particular result value is less than 9, which is false, so it came toward this type. So this is how you use calculation and decision stage on a very high level. So guys, like, do you have any doubt till here, like, with the decision stage or calculation stage, anything that you wanted to ask?
Okay, Karan, I have one doubt. You have
Sure.
mentioned that uh, data type, data stays, or data element something. So, like, there is any difference between this, or is the same everything?
Okay. So data item, this is the data item that I've used. There is a, so when I say data item, this is going to store the result of, if any value that I told you, right? So if you click it here, right, you have different data types that you can use. You have number, text, flag, date, time, whatever data type that you want to use, you can use. And this is basically used for storing the result of any value. That is basically how in programming language, guys, if you can mute yourself, I think that you can hear me better. So what I'm trying to say here, this is basically used as a variable, which is basically to store the result or to store any value, that you want to use in a process, right?
Uh, like, take an example. Can you please open the decision stage?
Sure.
Okay, now here in the right side, the main page, the binaries, collections, dates, data, like data item, times or whatever it is. So
Right.
you told now, like, you said data stays as well as data type. So that's where I got confused. Like, what we
Okay.
supposed to be called to these fields?
Okay. You mean this field? So
Yes, yes, exactly.
okay. So these are nothing but data types. Okay. These are data types. These are stages. Okay. These are stages that I'm referring to. These are data types. This is
Mm-hmm.
data item that I've just used is a data item. Okay. So
Okay,
data
okay.
item have different data types. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
type that you are going to select here, once you go in the decision stage, let's say for example I selected this as a text. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
made a result as a text and I click OK. Now go here in decision stage, you will see under text my variable is here, result, right? So these are data type, and whatever data item that you are going to create, and whatever data type that you are going to select for that particular item, it is going to reflect under the particular data type, right?
Okay.
Last time I selected number, so it was reflecting under number. This time I selected text, so it is reflecting under text.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how
Okay.
it works. And there was one more option that I wanted to tell you. Let's say I delete this result data item. I deleted this, right? uh, Obviously if you reset it, it shows you two error. You go here, it don't show you, but the main fact is you are using a result value here, but actually the result data item does not exist, right?
Yes.
Now what you can do, so there is one more option. If you have already created any data item, you can directly drag and drop here. Or there is one more option, you can type whatever you wanted to create data item as. Let's say I want to create data item as a calc. Okay, and you click here. So you see, click here to automatically create a data item of the required data type using the name in the field.
Okay.
So as soon as I click it, it created a number type data item. Why? Because in the expression I'm using 7 plus 2, which is nothing but it is going to return
Numbers.
me a
So
data
it
type.
takes automatically.
Exactly. You don't have to create it. Now, if you go in the panel, you see already a data item of type called calc got created.
Okay.
So yeah, this is how this, and then since you have changed your data item, then you can always go here and change this to, yeah, like this. Okay, and then there is no error here. You see, previously there was two error, now there is no error. So once you run it, it changed the value as 9, and 9 is not less than 9, so it moves toward this direction and process ended.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this was a very basic example, like how efficiently you can use data item calculation stages and decision stages.
Hi, Karan.
Hey, hi.
Uh, you have dragged from decision stage to end stage, then it
To delete and reconfigure it.
Uh,
okay.
Here I have
So
one
if we
question.
have one more end means, so do we have one more end for decision stage?
See, what I wanted to tell you, like here, it is just for example, I've taken an end stage, right? Just for example, I've taken an end stage, but I can take any stage here. Like as part of this process, I can have any of the stages which you see here, which will can be linked from the decision stage. Just for showing you example, like how you can split the two path. Like let's say your process is going in a straight direction, and you want to take decision. Either you want to go in right direction, you want to go in left direction, based on a one business rule. So business rules say that if you do this, you will get a true flag. Then you go in right direction. If you do this, you will get a false flag. Then you go in left direction. Accordingly, this is how decision stage works.
Okay. So can we rename yes or no? Yes or no?
No, you cannot rename. I mean, what do you mean to rename? I mean, see, whenever you connect any of the decision stage to the stage, default give you yes value, right? Which is a true value. Right? And the next time
Okay.
you do it, it will give you no. The
So
one
it's
difference
mean
that you
that
must have. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, it's mean that decision stage automatically gives you yes and no. It's mean that they have already like given you the result. Like of course, because yes and no, it's saying that you have these things yes or these things no. So it's mean already they are giving you result.
Okay, so this is not true. Decision stage has not given me already result. It is what we are just trying to do here. We are trying to configure it. So when I say configure it, it means to say decision is always given by this expression that you are going to write in this expression panel. And based on this
Yes.
expression, whatever value that is going to throw, like it can either throw you true or it can throw you false. Okay, so if it will throw you true value, it will go toward yes side. If it throw you false value, it will go toward no side.
Okay, okay, got it, got it, got it.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
no problem. Yeah. The one thing that you must observe here, that there is a data type like data item that I've created here, calc stage. It will always be floating in the process. This is the one where I'm not connecting it to any of the link, right? Because this is just mean for holding the values. So it will keep on floating in any process diagram. There is no more, like you're not going to connect this particular data item with any of these stages here. So that is one of the thing. Okay, apart from this, what I can show you, like so let's say if I take two data item here. Okay, uh, so let me give you this, let's take this value as x, and data type is number, and initial value is 0, this as y. Let's take this as a number, initial value 0, and what we can do, okay, so let's say instead of 0 you give some value to it. Let's say you, in the starting of the process itself, you assign some value to this data type item. Let's say you assign as 5, and you assign this value as 6. So these two variables are holding value 5 and 6. And what you want to do, you want to add these two variables. So instead of, this was kind of hard coding it, what I want to do, I want to add these two expression, x plus y. So you can see, like when I'm always choosing a data item, it always comes in a square bracket. And this is the logic that whatever that function that you want to do, so you plus it, you subtract it, you divide it, or you multiply it. So it's up to you. And if you don't know what you want to do, there is one more option which Blue Prism provide you. There is a functions here. So if you see, uh, you can basically choose any function. Like let's say if I want to, add two number, or if I want to divide two number, I don't know what expression that I need to use. So as soon as I select any of this function, let's say I want to multiply two number. Okay, so if I select this two function, in the right panel you see there is a function detail panel will come, where you can see get a number by multiplying two number together. So let's say you have two items, right, x and y, and you want to multiply x data item with y data item. What you can do, you can drag and drop x data item in operand A, and you can drag and drop y data item in operand B. Once you are done with this, you can just click on paste. So you see it automatically pasted the expression that you want to execute. So x into y will give you, and once you have created the expression, you can click on validate. So obviously it show you, because you don't have any stages to store result in, right? So what I told you, like you can click on calc, or you can click on whatever the value, whatever name that you want to give, and click create as a variable. So I created a variable called calc, and it created a number variable because this is a number x and y, and the value of x into y is going to get stored in the variable calc. Now, once I click validate, it says expression is valid, and you can also evaluate your expression. So I have chosen 5 for X and 6 for Y. If you test it, it gives you number 30. So which my expression is valid, and you can click OK. Now you see you have now 3 data item got created, X, Y, and calc. So calc has no value, no initial value, no current value. X has 5 initial value and Y has 6 initial value. In the add to number, I'm going to multiply this to number X into Y. I'm going to store the value in calc. And here you can see that you can say calc is less than 50. So if it is less than 50, it's mean, so you can click validate. You can evaluate expression. So let's say the calc value is 30. So this gives you true. 30 is less than 50, so it will take the true path. So I'm showing you all this because you can get the entire idea, like what all options that you have here and how efficiently you can use it. So it will clear all your basic concepts. And let's say if even if you don't know how to build your expression, you can use this function builder to make your expression efficiently. Now once you click OK, the process got created. Once you reset it, you see there is a 0 error. Now just run your process in very slow mode and see what is happening. Now it's going to add multiply two number, and it's giving you the result 30. And since 30 is less than 50, it is true path. It ended up here. So this is how you can use multiple data items, and how you can use those data items in your calculation stage or decision stage to make your process. All right. So before,
when we will add the description,
yeah, go ahead.
when we will add the descriptions, where it will pop up, it will pop up under, take an example, decision stage, there is a descriptions box where we will mention what is exactly happening, whether it is calculating the cal less than 30 or something. So if you will mention the descriptions, where it will pop up.
If you mention here, right, so it is, when you say it is pop up, it is something like, once you point the arrow here, let's say you see I'm here now, I go here in decision state. So you can
Okay.
see it says that it is calculating. So I don't have to go and open it. I can directly point my arrow here, mouse arrow, and it will say me that what it is actually doing it, right?
Okay.
So it will save my time. So I hope till here it is clear to you guys. And before closing the today's session, I will discuss one more concept, which is called a circular path. So basically, what happened in a world of automation and RPA, you want to do the same operation repetitively, right? Like for the first example, the basic example that I gave you, you want to read the email, download the attachment, move the attachment from one folder to other folder to further process it. You see, this is the same operation we are doing, and we are doing it for 50 times, right? So once my process is ready, I just have to ask my process to repeat it 50 times. So this is nothing but a circular thing that I'm creating, which keep on doing the same thing again and again. And we can control, like, till how much time it can do the same thing again and again. So I will show you so this is what the basic concept about circular path. So circular path is nothing but it is just keep on iterating the value in a loop uh, uh, till the time that we wanted, we asked it to iterate it to do the same thing again and again. Now by giving you a very basic example, I'll show you how we can do it. So let me delete some of the things here. So let me delete. Okay, let's have this. So I will take two data item here. already have one data item here and I will take one more. So I will give this data item a name called max count. Max count is nothing but I'm giving this name to just justify that how many times you want my process to run. So since this is a number, I'm going to give it a type of number and I'm going to assign a value, let's say 5. Like I want my process to run at least 5 times. So I give the number as 5 and this is called, I'll give the name as increment. So increment is also a number data type and I'm going to give this value as 0. So what I'm going to do here now, I want to start a process and what basically I want to do is I want to keep iterating it 5 times, doing the same thing again and again. So in order to do it, as soon as I start my process, I want to increment my data item with value 1. Once it's processed it, again I want to increment it to 2. Then keep incrementing it 3, 4, 5. As soon as it reaches 5, since the maximum count is 5, I want to end my process. So this is what we are going to do it. So in order to do it, what we are going to do, we are going to use the calculation stage by default. In the calculation stage, what we are going to do, so we have a value called increment, which is having an initial value 0, and then we will add this value with 1. So what I told you, like we will increment this value 1 every time we will go through it, and we will store the incremented value in the same variable. So we are using the same data item increment and storing the result of this expression in this increment data item. Click OK. So now what happened? Okay, first let me build this process and then we will discuss one by one. First let me delete it. Okay. Now we have one more stage called anchor. Anchor is nothing but how efficiently you can join 2 stages of your process. So let's say I want to join my decision stage to add 2 number stage. I cannot do it, I mean, it's not a very good idea to go here. It will not able to join your add 2 number to the stage here, right? So that is why we are given with the anchor stage. So once you place your anchor stage here, you place the other anchor stage here. Now once we have this, we can efficiently join it. Now you go click on pointer and go click on link. Left click and join this decision to this anchor, decision to this anchor, decision to this anchor. So what I'm going to do, you see, I have a process where I'm going to start from here. I'm going to increment the value. So I'm going, increment is holding the value 0 first. So 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1. So now increment current value will become 1. Initial value was 0, current value will become 1. Now click on OK. I'm going in decision stage. Increment current value is 1, right? Now I'm going to check if increment current value is less than and equal to, instead of hard coding it, max count. Max count current value is 5. So what I'm going to do is increment current value is less than equal to 5. So till that time it don't become equal or less than equal to 5, keep incrementing the value one by one. So if you click on validate, expression is valid, click on OK, right? So here you have a decision stage where it says that if the value is less than equal to maximum count, the boolean is true, like keep iterating in the same loop, and once the increment value become equal to or greater than 5, keep out of the loop and end the process. Now once you reset, you can see that the error has gone, there is no error, and now we can run the process. Now I will run the process in very slow speed, so you can see this value is getting incremented one by one. Now its current value is 0. It will increment till 5, and as soon as it become 5, it will become 6. It will come out of the loop. So let's see. So it is 1 now, which is true. 1 is less than 5. It is going again. Increment the value. It is incrementing 2. Decision is true. It is again going to increment this value to 3. 3 is less than 5. True. See, as soon as it becomes 6, since 6 is less than 5, the process got end. So with this, iteration, you see, like, we can control how many time I want this particular, this loop to get implemented. Since I just wanted to implement it only 5 times, if you just reset it and you just say it, you want to iterate through 50 times, let's say, okay, and this value is 0, and I just run this process at very fast speed, just see how it is happening. See, just keep on iterating, incrementing the value, and as soon as it become 51, it end the process. So in production, this will be running at the same speed, and whatever the iteration that I want to do, whatever operation that you want to do as part of that, increment that, in the loop, you can do it and achieve the result. So this was all about the circular path. I hope it is clear to you.
Karan,
You are relating
question
to
here.
this example to email something you are telling, right? In the business
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah,
Can you
that
please
was
repeat
just
that?
yeah. So see, I just gave a example just to, so that you can relate, like, why we are using this circular path. So I was trying to relate you with a basic business example where you wanted to read 50 emails, line by line, and you want to get the attachment from the email as a PDF, store in one folder, and then move from one folder to different folder. So this, let's say, all this that you have created for one email, a process, right? Let's say you have
Mm-hmm.
created a process of 3 block A, B, and C, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is handling the operation that I've just explained. Now you want to do this operation 50 times, right? Same operation for every email, you want to do the same operation. Now with the help of this circular path, you can control the same operation, you can execute the same operation 50 times in a loop through this logic. That is, I wanted to, explain you with a simple process that I just created.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Karan, so can we see anywhere in the process end time? That is how many minutes or seconds the process took?
Yeah, you can see that. We will be taking this in later section once we'll be going into the, work queue, and we'll be seeing the processing in the control, control panel. uh, so there we will be able to see, okay, I have some of the process, as I ran as in demo process. If you see, if I just bring this one process here, you can see how much time it took to completion, right? So this was created, got completed. It started 12, 26, 29, and it's completed. So it took around, 0.05 seconds every process. So you'll get all the logs here, which will say how much time it got completed. We'll come to this in a later stage of training. We'll show you how
Okay.
they work. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So guys, I think for today, this is pretty much it. And probably you can just practice on the same line, and at least the basic things you can get it clear. And then we will move ahead, advancing from tomorrow onwards. All right. If you have any doubt till now, just let me know so I can clear those things.
Thank you, Kiran.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let us.
Karan,
Yeah.
one quick say.
Fine.
Hello.
Hey, hi. You
Yeah.
have any doubt?
Hi.
Yeah.
But just want to ask us one small question. Like this anchor tag, we can't use one apart from two.
You can use any any time, like how much time that you want to use anchor tab, you can use. It is just to
No,
make
like,
your
I understand. Just to make
okay.
clear, I just want to ask that apart from two, we can't use one.
Uh, I think you can use one also. There's no harm in it, but it will not look good, right? So in order to make your process look good, I made a
Yes,
two.
yes, 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 yes. Yes.
Yeah,
No,
that's all.
just want to ask that question.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can do it.
Okay, thank you.
So I think all right, guys. For today, it's pretty much, and let's connect tomorrow, so we will see more into it. All right.
Yeah, okay, Karan. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day, all of you.
Yeah.
Bye, Karan.
Hello, hello. Hello.